Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our Mastermind and Referral group. And this is where we share referrals across America. We also are in a mastermind group here where you're going to learn just new things. Today, it's going to be really exciting. You're going to hear some powerful information about how to get listings. We're going to even invite you to a special meeting that we have. In fact, if you are live with us, it's in the chat and you can sign up for it there. And but basically it is Wednesday, October 14th, a week from Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. And it's how to solve the inventory crisis and get more listings. And so you're going to learn a lot in that, but today you're going to learn a lot specifically a little bit later. We're going to actually talk to someone who in the last week, Teresa has gotten a listing and a buyer developed because of some very unique ways that she went and just was friendly with her neighbors. And so we're going to talk about that and what a blessing that is. And we're going to talk about passion painting too. And so it's going to be a wild time. You're going to absolutely love this. And so again, it's in the chat. If you need that link and you can't copy and paste it or whatever, just let me know and I will send that to you. But that'll be a special event that we are going to put on a week from Wednesday. So we're going to begin though, and we always look at kind of the whole world because we need to be knowledgeable. In fact, out of the top 3 considerations when anybody is selecting an agent, the number one is to have relevant expertise on a local basis, on a national basis, to know what's going on in the world. And by doing that you can, first of all, you'll be selected because people recognize that, hey, you know what you're doing and you have that knowledge. And then we're also going to focus on this, on how to have really finish with a strong quarter. And so we just started October. And we'll get a little bit more into this, but October is going to be the biggest October ever in real estate, period. And so it has just been amazing. I just got off. I'm now doing coaching and one-on-one coaching at drhanksites.com. You can get specifics on that, but with the person this morning, I was coaching with a person that got $2.4 million worth of business last week. And so that's just in 1 week. And so if your business isn't booming, hang with us and you'll see that your business is going to be booming. So we want you to finish in a strong 2020 and then start in 2021. That the world has changed last spring because it closed down, that what's happening is we're going to have more business all these months coming up. Even January, February is going to be the biggest January and February that there has been, and we'll talk about why that was. So I'd like all of us to make a commitment to being the knowledge agent and also to being a loving agent, and that's really most important. But today we'll do a little of both, and we'll give you knowledge and we'll give you a lot of love. And so I also want to help focus us on that. I'd like you to start considering on how you want to build a listing inventory where you will dominate, if you will, where you will thrive in the fourth quarter and in next year. So I want you to think about, hey, I want to see if you would just start asking for, I want to have more listings now, that literally you'll start seeing more listings. And again, we're going to give you specific techniques and strategies and scripts and everything today to help you, as well as this a week from Wednesday specific on the listings. And so with that, so again, I want you to think about, hey, I want to be knowledgeable. I would take notes on what I'm going to share with you. Some of this information you've never heard before. It's hot off the press. And some of it is repeated each week, just so that you can start accepting these new ideas in the new world, if you will. Most of us need to hear things 6 times before we accept it and really start playing with it, if you will. So the good news is we're going to look at the economy and then start focusing down and getting down into real estate, and then specifically you on how to be able to build your real estate. And I got a couple of people waiting in the room, so let me get them on here. There we go. I think they're admitted now. Hello, guys. Hello. Thanks for joining us. I know you were in the waiting room. Zoom is requiring that. You either have to have a password or you're put in the meeting room. And so I just saw you guys sitting there. So hopefully you weren't there for very long. But basically, we're looking at how to finish strong in 2020 and then to take us through the whole year. And one of the things is to be a loving agent. Another one is to be a knowledgeable agent, which you're going to get both of that information and kind of how, if you will, to do that. And then we're focused now on, so we're focused bracketing into also listings. And remember, if you do have any referrals, because we're a referral group, you just provide me, hey, I got a referral in whatever city anywhere in the nation, and then I'll hook you up with agents. So I know that some of you are also interested in doing that. So we're going to start out though, and we're going to look at the economy. And the good news is the jobs continue to return. The September jobs report just released on Friday showed that unemployment was at 7.9%, major improvement from when it was at 14.7. And again, why would you need this? Just write down those facts, because you'll be amazed at how you'll all of a sudden be able to share that knowledge with someone, and they'll say, man, you really know a lot about the world and real estate, etc. But again, it was 14.7% on employment. Now it dropped down to 7.9%. It's going to probably take a couple of years before we get below 4%, before COVID and everything happened and we were shut down. And this is a fun little fact. October is expected to have 2 full moon cycles during the month. And so be kind, be patient, and expect miracles of prosperity for you. And I just love that. And if you are looking at, if you saw last night, the moon, it's this fall moon, big, bright, beautiful, close to the horizon. So it makes it, appear large, but it's very colorful. And so know that just lots of stuff is going to be happening. Lots of good stuff is going to be happening this month for you. Existing home sales grew again 2.4%. And that's in August. So altogether, home sales have increased by 10.5% over last year. And again, people need to understand that hey, people are, even though with COVID and everything, people are buying more homes than they did last year. Okay. And also know that the stock market is up. In fact, for those of you that, we do on Thursdays, the GPS to your real estate success. And for those of you that are taking my lead on step 4 on building your investments and wealth, one of them is to buy stock, and I make stock recommendations. And so the stock on one stock that I had recommended increased by 6-fold within the last about 6 weeks. And then another stock that agents can actually earn without having to pay for it went from $8 to, it's now at $50. It increased just yesterday by $5, which means, in fact, I had an agent who thought that they had $10,000 of stock, and I showed them where to go to Morgan Stanley and actually look at their stock, and they had $21,000 of stock. And so you'll see that this is just a remarkable way to be able to do it. But the stock market altogether went up 2.4%, but the NASDAQ, which is most of the stock that I recommend. The NASDAQ is up over 20% for the year. Again, the two stocks I had picked out have more than 6 times what they were just a few months ago. Newly built single-family homes are now selling at their fastest rate since '06. Again, that's newly built single-family homes. One of our lead programs, we have exclusive lead programs for you that don't cost any money, that over 80% of the leads close. We're up to about 99% on one of the lead programs. But that one of the main lead programs that we have where you get exclusive leads is new home building sales. And so just know, in fact, just last month, they increased by 4.8% these new homes. So it should be a strategy. I mean, the reason why you want to know about this is, hey, where can I get inventory from? Well, one of the places you can get inventory from is new homes. And we have a way for you to be the preferred agent and to get every buyer that walks in there that isn't represented by an agent to be able to have it. And so real estate is leading the economy in growth and the recovery. And so thanks to us and what we're doing out there, that we're leading the growth of that. The average sales price is now $369,000 for a new home. And so another reason why you want a new home, because the average sale price now in America just hit over $300,000, about $303,000. Well, wouldn't you like to make 3% on $69,000 extra dollars? And so another reason why that new home program is so effective and so great. And then know that 24% of the workforce is now working at home. That's a 31% increase, and that's a biggie. And so this quarter will be the mother of all economic rebounds. And so, and by last quarter, that would be July, August, September. Those numbers aren't out yet, but when they come out, it'll be the biggest rebound versus the quarter before ever. So things are bright, folks, no matter what you're watching on TV. And by the way, don't watch TV. That they just have bad stuff to tell you, and they distort things and don't tell you the whole picture. And speaking of that, so that's the economy. The economy is getting better. Employment is good. Why do we want to know that more people are employed? It's the number one reason why real estate grows is because of jobs. And so jobs brings home sales. And so we want to be aware of that. The next one is COVID-19. And again, COVID-19, that a lot of people are afraid. And so they're not focused as much on green anymore, on, the economy, the environment and everything. Instead, they're looking at clean. So you want to be really honor other people and ask them, hey, would you like me to, would you like to do this virtually? And so you wanted, the world has changed since 6-7 months ago. And so we want to be with that change, and we want to really accommodate people and be kind to people on that. Protests and reform, there is definitely need for reform. All of us are created equal. And so we are developing that, and we're instrumental in all of that. In fact, we're helping first responders. I'm on a national committee with that I just wrote a book, and you can't see the book because the way the thing is, but it's Health, Wealth, and Success. And again, to support this whole effort. So we are literally in the middle of it. And like, if you need to, if you want to refer somebody to me to know more about that or whatever, that feel free to, and you should have all my contact information as well. So now we're going to go specific to real estate, even though I have talked a lot about real estate when I was talking about the economy. The reason why is we're a big impact on the economy, and that's not always the case. Sometimes just the opposite, in fact. But we're on a 14-year high. New residential construction in the U.S. totaled 139,000 housing units in 1 month. in last month. And just so you know how that breaks out of new, the way they, out of the 139,000, 93,000 are single family homes. So the majority of them are single family homes. There are 700, though, apartment buildings with 2 to 4 units. So that might be on your radar as well, at, hey, what builders are building at these 2 to 4 units? And then there's 45,000 apartment buildings with 5 or more units. And so you want to be looking at that, seeing on investors, in other words, investors. And we have a whole investment leads program. And so we have investors from across America that we hold these dinners every month, typically in DFW and then in California. But we are connected to investors. If you want to get involved with like finding for our investors certain, whether it be homes to flip or whatever, that's a whole opportunity that Rebecca manages. And I don't know if she's on here or not, but to know that, you know, again, if you have a question on, hey, I want to get involved in this lead program or meet this person or whatever, that just let me know and contact me, and that I'll let you know. The loans are the largest that they have ever been. And so I catch this, that on January 2nd, the average rate of the mortgage was 3.72%. And that meant that it costs about $461 every month for P&I, principal and interest, on $100,000, okay? And so what's interesting in that, though, that last week, the rates went down again to 2.9%. That's a national average. And that would allow a borrower, instead of borrowing $100,000, they can borrow $110,000. So what that means is that borrowers now, for every $100,000, can buy more house, $10,000 more house. So even though house prices are rising, actually the buyer has the affordability because of lower interest rates. So it just helps you to put into perspective on what these interest rates do. And so October is expected to be one of the biggest months in closings in the history of real estate, period. Home buying is up 28% due to historically low interest rates. And again, we're probably over our the time on there was a Fannie and Freddie Mae increased that refinancing by 0.5 point. And it's not effective till December 1st, but I just checked this morning, and basically they've included that 0.5 point extra now in the rate. So you can't necessarily call people, unless you call your mortgage loan officer and ask, hey, are you reflecting this 0.5 point that they just arbitrarily added to the cost of a loan when you're refinancing? This is just for refinancing. But if anything, it's still the time to refinance, it's still the time to buy, and it's the time to sell. Why is it it's time to sell? It's a seller's market. You can get full price, maybe even over full price. And so that's good news for them as well. Just a couple of words about on how the population groups and who are the largest population groups looking at buying homes. Baby boomers, and so, you know, those are somewhere about 25 to 35, 40 years old. And then you have I'm sorry, baby boomers, the older generation, sorry. And then millennials, about 25 to 35, 40 years old. And then you have Generation Zers, Z-E-R-S. And so they're in their 20s, and they're entering and they're buying homes. And so there's 3 types of buyers also. And again, it's just new terminology that you want to be up to speed on. And so there are entry buyers, what we typically call first-time home buyers. There's move-up buyers, and then there's 55 plus. And so just a little bit different terminology terminology that people are using. And just know that the demand is so high for homes that we could be building 1.5 million homes a year for the next 10 years and finally meet up with the demands. There's lots of demand out there. And again, the easy route, the route I recommend is new home builders, helping first responders, investors, and then listings. And again, we're going to start focusing more and more on listings. And so let's see. Yes, so I'm going to just end here because of time that that I wanted to let you know that on Wednesday, October 14th at 11 o'clock, and I have the link in the text there, or you can just ask me for this, but it's how to solve the inventory crisis and get more listings. And it's how to prospect for listings in today's market, and you're going to hear a little about how to do that today. It's about lead follow-up and positioning yourself as the expert. This is the key, is that you want to position yourself as the expert, in this case, expert listing, and the element of a powerful listing presentation. So we'll actually give you America's best listing presentation as well. And then how to get homeowners to list now instead of waiting until next year. And so this is it. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. And so, you know, what happens if whatever, COVID comes or another one comes or whatever and closes everything down, that if it closes down, that we're going to see a slowdown in everything, even real estate. And so because of that, now's the time to do it. It is hot, and it's going to be the hottest months, and we're right in the midst of it. So woohoo, hallelujah. And so with that, your thoughts and comments. Oh, I got one in the waiting room here. Let's see here. What did you like best about all that? Let me see. Why can't I get them out of there? And so your thoughts on oh, there she is. I think I got her. And there we go. So thoughts, comments about what did you like best about this information? Hey. I had a hard time getting you in. Sorry, you have to be in a meeting room, Rebecca. Now Zoom's requiring it, so I didn't see you there, but welcome. So unmute yourself, guys, for what you like best, or thoughts about, you know, the changes, or any questions that you have, comments.
Well, I can just concur concerning the new home building. I've gotten 2 under contract in the last couple of weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, and they I don't know if it's the COVID or whatever it is, but people are preferring, even people who last year thought seriously about a pre-existing, they go straight to new home building now, and it's gotten a lot easier to do it. I like sitting in there 2 hours and I'm done.
Yeah, right. You know, most buyers, you gotta, you know, go all over the town and show them all different places. This is, hey, here it is. And then our new buyer, and so that's an interesting point. And, you know, my hunch is that they probably think that it's cleaner.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a brand new house, and so it's cleaner. So it even increases the reason why, in fact, you can actually offer your buyers, hey, have you considered doing a new home, because it's cleaner. It's been, you know, nobody has lived there. You don't have any, you know, type of germs in your, you know, air conditioning ducts and blah, 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 all of that. And for them to do that. And again, we have a way to talk to that sales consultant and for them to choose us as a preferred agent. And so like Dondi, on that sales consultant that is in that new home builder there, that I had sent Sean, and they're brothers, for those of you that don't know, that I had sent Sean the information on new home building, and maybe you guys could talk that and develop that together, because it basically is 2 flyers, and one flyer goes to the sales consultant and says, listen, I'm going to do all this stuff for you. I can list your homes if you want me to. I'm going to offer $2,500 to give a free upgrade to your buyers. And again, that will be taken out of your commission, but on a $300,000 house, you're still going to make about 10 grand. Okay. And so it's a way to, and they like upgrades because they have a higher margin of that. So you're going to increase their profit. And then you can offer all kinds of other things, like you can sit in for them on their day off, that these sales consultants, that they typically aren't agents, they also are making a lot of money now because of all of these sales, and they're making 1% or whatever they're making, and they're just sitting there, you know, in an office. And so it comes very easily. They have a lot of money, and they don't want to do like follow-up on all the leads. Well, you'll be willing to do, I'll do all the follow-up on your behalf. And if they don't want to go, you know, with you as a builder, then they become a buyer for you. You can sell their house for them, you know, the current house they're living in. Anyways, there's a whole laundry list of things you offer the sales consultant that you'd be offering them and the buyer. And then basically the other handout is a handout that actually looks similar to like this handout. I've been doing this, by the way, for years. Oh, yeah, that's right. You can't see very well on the handout, but basically it is to the buyer, and it says, hey, get $2,500 off. We'll help you with, you know, selling your house. That will help you with negotiating the deal with the builder, you know. And so all of these benefits that you do, and the main benefit that the buyer is going to say yes to you. So these are all buyers who currently don't have an agent, that they're going to say yes to you because you're giving them $2,500 worth of free upgrades. It's like just a no-brainer, you know, and nobody's doing that out there. I'm telling you, nobody is doing that out there in the way that, you know, we're helping them with that. So that's awesome, Dondi. Any other? So you got 2 in the last week?
In the last couple weeks.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Another thing I discovered too by that is there's a gang of new builders popping up. There's a lot of new builders, and what's awesome is they are offering some amazing upgrades for free. And a lot of the new home prices are in line with pre-existing homes. And so you'll look, and there's not a whole lot of disparity between an older home and a newer home. And there's not a big gap. You know, it may be just a matter of a few hundred square feet.
Right.
But the price differential is not that much, and they get a new home.
Yeah.
And so that has helped me over the last several weeks as well.
That's awesome. I appreciate your input. Great input there. Anybody else thoughts and comments about where the world is, where real estate is, and what we have going there?
I would like to add something, Dr. Hank.
Yes.
To the new construction, I call it the DFW Builder Buyer Program. But you know, this is like when you are working with somebody on a build. I have 3 of them right now. All 3 are closing at the beginning of the year.
Awesome.
And thank you. And yes. And so from the moment of conception to closing and thereafter, it is such an incredible opportunity to build that relationship and trust. And every chance that I get, I attend. Like I had one of them do what we call a land prayer ceremony. And for all of the different, what is the word I want to use? For all of the different cultures that, you know, have different beliefs and creators, they all do it differently.
Awesome. Religions. the different religions.
Religions, cultures. It's, you know, I've worked with just about every single one in my background in new construction.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I love to attend them because it's just so enchanting to see how other people love. And anyway, so I had one of those just recently in Fate, Texas. And so this was a God prayer, and they put something that's valuable to their family in the soil right
Wow.
before they poured the cement.
Oh,
In attending that, I just always feel so grateful that I'm a part of this event in their life. Um, if they have a meeting with the builder, I want to be there. And just for those of you that have this going on, it's a great opportunity every time that you see them during these events or phone calls or follow-ups that you say something to the effect of, please remember me in your travels for other people that I might help right now. And can I give you an extra card for your wallet? That has worked so many times for me where I get a phone call and from them usually to say I'm referring so-and-so to you, because there's something in our human spirit that when you ask somebody to remember you or that you need help with something, we as human beings, we respond to that and we remember that. And I know I do. If somebody says to me in your travels, let's say it's a CPA, in your travels, if the conversation comes up, will you please share what I offer or something to that effect? And I remember that. And it's interesting that I'll have that card in my wallet. I just referred two people to the same scenario. I just referred someone to a furniture store, and I referred somebody to a gastroenterologist.
wow.
And you know, that's the relationship.
Yeah.
Is that I have that card or I have that seed that's been the gastroenterologist I've known for 10 years. And we have a relationship. However, that initial seed planting has spanned 10 years, and I probably have referred 50 people to this doctor. So that's just a really good example. And I will continue to refer people to the accountant that said the same thing. And so you really start a referral-based business. And when you're working with new construction clients, it's like the perfect opportunity to add them to what I call the referral posse. Because they're getting closer and closer to you, you're really becoming such a big part of their family. You know, it's such a span of what, when you build a home, 9 months. If they're doing an inventory home or whatnot, but typically when we help somebody purchase a home, you know, you're kind of in and out of their life for 30 to 45 days. And then of course, follow-up becomes key. But the new construction build jobs, boy, I'll tell you what, that can just become, I've had, let's see, the most I've ever had on a build was 4 referrals before we closed.
Wow. And these are referrals for buyers, listings, or
the clients who are building a brand new home. And because I spend so much time with them, and because during the process, they please remember me in your travels for other people that I can help. I've had that catapult before, yeah.
Wow.
And so they refer people to you and during the time that they're building.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, the key is not to just call them and ask them for that. You know, it's about the relationship, give. I mean, if you're showing up for their soil prayer meeting and you're showing up for their builder meeting and you're checking in with them on, you know, how did it go at the design center? So, you know, then there's the perfect opportunity to say, remember the same thing I just said, remember me in your travels.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. And so, yeah, so because it was so attentive to them that you got 4 new home um, sales from that,
Referrals during the
referrals, because
process.
they said, wow, you should get a new home, and here's the person that can help you with that new home. And we have that also on, and just for everybody to know, Teresa is one of the top agents in America, and so we actually did training, and I have a book coming out next month on your GPS to success and the 5 different steps. But specifically, we did training on, if you want a refresher course or if you're a brand new agent, we have this 4 modules of training that it just goes back to basics, and really it'll help everybody. In fact, when Teresa and I were going through that, we said, wow, that's right, we need to make sure we're doing more of that. And so it's just a real good reminder for us. And Teresa, I want to get to you. I just, again, because I want to talk about what you've done in the last week or whatever, couple of weeks. But does anybody else have any other comments about that, or anything else that we talked about before, or anything we can help you with before we move on to the next topic?
Hey, Doc, did you see my question in text?
Oh, okay. Hey.
I'm driving, so I can't
Hey,
pay attention.
hey, James. Cool. So let's see. Does anybody see his question there?
I'll just ask you. I can
Yeah.
talk longer.
Yeah.
So, of course, studying, prepping for my exam. So us offering like the $2,500 you talked about, that's allowable because it's coming out of the negotiated commission, correct?
Yeah, so basically the way it is, so again, the average new home's about $360,000. So 3% of that is, so let's see, 3,681. So is it 11,800, something like that? And then let's say 20% goes out to the broker, 9,000. And so, you should be making, let's say you make 7,500. You have the ability to legally, you can't pay a referral fee to anybody more than $50, okay? But on your commission, you can give your commission away to anybody you want to, if you will. And so in this case, what we're doing is we're saying we're going to give $2,500 or whatever on lower new homes that don't cost that much, that maybe it's $1,000. It all kind of is relative, if you will. But you're going to make $9,000 or $10,000 for every home you do after you give away, this money. So at the closing, it actually goes into a check to the buyer, and so they get a check. Teresa just had a police chief have a closing. And because of all the rebates that we give, so it's not only our money, but part of this program is we also have a mortgage partner of ours. And again, for those of you out of the city or whatever, you get your own mortgage person and find a mortgage person. But our guy gives 1% of the sales of the home and doesn't take it from the backside or whatever. So it's truly 1%. So on a $360,000 home, it's $3,600. So you take $3,600 and then the $2,500. Then we have other ways to do this. Anyways, the bottom line is that they at closing were given a $10,000 check. And so, James, does that answer your question on how you can do that legally?
Yes. And I had actually talked to Brad. He called me, and that's how we do it with the first
cool. Program. Yeah, right. And so that's actually, Brett. And am I right, Teresa, to say that Brett gives the 1% on new homes too?
So I don't really quote a percentage for him because I don't have a mortgage license.
Yeah, okay.
And typically it's around the same that we as first responder resources give, which is 0.05%.
Okay.
Sometimes it's more, sometimes he buys a point for them. It's like I tell the clients, talking to Brett, you're looking at another probably 0.5%, but he does so many different things with each individual person. So your situation will be like DNA.
Got it.
And I have them talk to Brett, and Brett works it out. Now he picks up all of their closing cost, which is like probably $800 to $1,200. But then in addition to that, he has legal ways that he can contribute to the principal. So
Uh,
here's what I've learned over the 20 years. You can contribute to the principal any amount of your commission that you want to. And it is a credit on the HUD statement. Now, like what you said, Dr. Hank, we used to write them checks and write in that little memo, principal contribution for our tax guys, right? Now what I do is I save the HUD
yeah,
for my
right.
accountant and highlight on the HUD statement, which if anybody does not know what the HUD statement is, it's the final checks and balances to their closing expenses and credits. And so you will see on there as a first responder realtor, James, you'll see, I think they call it a contribution credit or commission credit. Now, you can.
That's literally on the HUD one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, amazing. Because I've done this. Every new home I've sold, I've given it that, but this is an awesome way.
Well, you want a paper trail for your accountant. You want a paper trail for if Trek were to ever question it, which they never have. I've never had any issues. But the one thing to remember is that you cannot pay commission to earned commission to an unlicensed individual. You can only contribute commission to a principal.
Got it. The principal amount.
Now I have done programs where I used to have very similar to the First Responder Resources Program, which was an animal rescue resources kind of deal. And so all of the different animal like the SPCA and all the different rescue organizations, they would refer people, and I was able to give them not only a principal contribution, but 10% of my commission to their animal rescue organization of choice. Now that is called a rebate, and there's only certain states that we can do that rebate.
And we can do it in Texas?
Yes.
Cool. Cool. And because of time, awesome information. And James, just to recognize you that James was a commander in the police, and so he's contributing. He's shared his story, if you will, with other first responders, and we've gone all around in these different meetings around Texas, and so then we shared with him. He retired, and we shared this career opportunity for him, and that's why he has completed all of his training and all the courses and classes, and why he's studying right now for his exam. So welcome aboard to you, James, and we're proud of you on doing that. And that's, again, just for all of us to understand that we offer first responders under the First Responders Program. We offer them not only to buy and sell the American dream, if you will, but we also provide career opportunities. And they're very successful because like James will go back to all the people he knows now and say, hey, I'm a realtor and I could offer all these goodies. And then also, James, if you had any questions about how to make sure you do that, that Teresa will personally help you on doing that deal. So you're in good hands.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then again, just because we have a few more minutes left here, but I wanted to share that Teresa moved into her new home. You know, she just does lots of business, and so she kind of took off and got into her new home, and she kind of had a passion then, and she discovered her passion and reignited it. And then she did some things to develop her business while she was doing her passion. And could you just share a little, Teresa, maybe 5 minutes on what you did? And I would suggest everybody listen that you'll pick up just some pointers on that you can go out and do this right now. So, Teresa.
Well, my sweetheart, Stuart Scott, love of my life, gave me everything that you could possibly imagine you would need for a painting studio. And not to take a long historical, but I have got an incredible passion for art and creating. And so going through, you know, the different passions that I have and learning to create more joy in my life, as busy as my business gets, I sometimes, well, let's just say this, Dr. Hank is coaching me right now, and it has been an absolute life changer. And I believe that the main thing I wanted was peace and joy and balance. And I'm now living that life. And I've only been coaching with him for a couple of weeks. And it's just, I can't even begin to tell you how life-changing it's been for me. It's nothing like what you might expect. It's just extraordinary. And during the course of all of that, with this gift, I just went into my studio and I just said, I'm not going to do real estate today. And I just went in there and I did the very first painting, and I remembered how incredibly good that feels for my soul.
No.
So with that said, I had mentioned in coaching to Dr. Hank, you know, I would just rather be painting than doing real estate right now. And I've got a really, really strong passion for people and families and first responders and everything you can imagine, business oriented, you know, and for you that I work with and partner with. And so it was really, what do you call it? It's an awakening, if you will, a passion awakening. So Dr. Hank said, let's build a Facebook page. And so I did, and I invited 100 people yesterday. And it's like,
what's the name of it?
It's like I'm just so amazed at how good it feels. Number one, to give myself permission to lay down real estate and paint all day on Sunday, then to share it on Facebook and to be getting all of these responses. And it's so incredible when I chose who I invited. There were people in there that I haven't talked to in 15 years. And I just let God pick the people. Obviously, I picked Dr. Hank. Obviously, I picked Paula. And
I didn't get an invite.
You didn't?
Tell us the name of your page.
Passion for painting. So I went through and did all those little check marks. I may have flubbed it, Paula. Anyway, so I invited 100 people. I don't know if Paula's even interested in painting, but I saw her name and I checked it. And then I have another friend I haven't spoken to who's a multimillionaire, and I checked her name and she immediately came back. So the point is that I am sharing my joy with people that mean a lot to me, whether I've talked to them recently or not. And there may be people in there that could care less, but you know what, in my heart, I feel like if even just one person sees that and is inspired by it, then I really truly am sharing my joy. And so it's a double gift.
Yeah.
Now, I will mention in there, when I am not doing real estate, this is what I love to do, and I want you to do it with me. Set up a studio in your home, or I've got an extra easel here. I've even got an extra, oh geez, I should know what it's called.
Canvas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Canvas.
Yeah.
You know, and come
Can
paint
you
with
show us your first picture? Can you
What?
show us your first picture you did? Do you have your first picture or your second one? She's done two.
I sent it to you, I believe.
You did, but I can't show it on my screen because I have the background of our new agent well
This
successful.
one's not finished.
Yeah, but look at this.
That's beautiful.
Look at that. I mean, it just is amazing. You know, that just look at that. And so she's doing her passion. And the point there is that when you do your passion and you share your passion with other people, you'll start connecting in even more meaningful ways with other people. And it'll actually also build your business. And so with that passion of hers and her feeling better now, that then Teresa, you moved into this new neighborhood. And so can you just, again, we have 2 minutes left, but can you just share a couple of the examples and how you got a listing already and a buyer out of it?
Okay, so I got so excited about the painting. It was like, what else do I have a passion for? So my neighborhood had a neighborhood garage sale. And boy, for 2 days, I was going around meeting all the neighbors. And, you know, I spent $3 at one house and $2 at another. And I handed out my card to everybody. I got invited to the neighborhood ladies bunko. Do they give me a listing? No. Will they? Absolutely. Then the other passion that I have is gardening and plants. And so I've been hanging out at the nurseries, and I've made all these friends at all these different local nurseries, and I like to go to the mom and pop ones. And lo and behold, I'm at one of my favorite ones in Frisco on Sunday, and John says, I didn't know that you were, I mentioned I was a realtor, and he said, well, I need to sell my house in Carrollton and we want to move to one of the local lakes. And so he said, let me talk to my wife as to when we can meet with you.
Yay.
And then she went to another home in her neighborhood, was being listed. So she went, introduced herself, and she said, hey, I'm a real estate agent, and I want to help you get the perfect buyer for this place. So
well, what I did is I made a video. So I noticed that there was a house for sale. And so I went in to tour it and kind of made friends with the agent. And while I was there, I did a video. And so the preface of the video is, and if you're on Facebook with me, you'll see it. The whole point was I'm here at one of my neighbor's homes, and I want to help her and her agent sell this home. And so I'd really like to show it to you. Well, that video is jam-packed with all kinds of stuff. I'm pointing out the highlights. I want to attract the buyers, right? I'm pointing out that I do budget renovations for pre-owned homes, another seed. And several times on the video, I'm really appealing to the buyers to get them to this house, and end it with, and we could be neighbors. So that video is not only going to go on social media, it's going to go on the neighborhood website. The message is this: I'm helping my neighbor and her agent.
Mm.
And so down the road, will one of those folks reach out to me to list their home? Of course they will. One more thing I want to add.
Okay.
Okay, so I love yoga. And I bought a house, well, 1.5 story, and upstairs is this great big giant yoga studio. And so last night I started my practice, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to invite the other women in my neighborhood to come and practice yoga with me on Thursday nights.
Wow.
So we'll get to do yoga together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now what's happening in the neighborhood? We've got a video out there. We've got garage sale where we're handshaking. We've got an event at our home, and it's something that I have a passion for. So what's that going to turn into?
Yeah. You bet. And I want to, and we're out of time here, but you know what it turns into is loving the world, you know, and Teresa's out loving the world, loving her passion, doing what she likes, sharing it with other people. And this is how you become the top 1% agent in America, is by loving other people and loving yourself. So give yourself permission to go do your passion, whether it's gardening or painting or yoga or whatever it is, but get out there and share the good news. Do a business Facebook page on it and invite people without the intent of, gee, am I going to get business from them? With the intent, hey, I want to share my passion. And you will see that you will build just deeper and more meaningful relationships. You have this common thread now, that cord, rope, if you will, that ties you together, and that you will also, by the way, get the business, because whenever you do your passion, the money will follow. So don't be focused on the money. Focus on your passion, what you love. Connect with people like Teresa, and you will build a massive, massive business. Any last thoughts from anybody? We're out of time, but it's just powerful, powerful stuff. And before we sing our song, any last thoughts? Did you like it?
Awesome.
Great. Well, fantastic. And we like to laugh and have more fun. We
Like to laugh and have more fun
as we increase our income.
as we increase our income.
We can watch our income rise.
We can watch our income rise
As more and more we magnetize.
as more and more we magnetize.
And then our new one, moolah, moolah, moolah.
Moolah, moolah.
Moolah, moolah. Fantastic, everybody. Well, thank you so much for being on Agent Wealth Success, our mastermind and referral group. That, again, contact me. Let me know what you're interested in. We're here to help you to grow your business, your wealth, but most of all, to grow your life and to enjoy it. We were all meant to be here and have a happy ride, and with a happy ride then is all of everything else that you want, to include the moolah, moolah, moolah. And Teresa, we thank you very much for sharing your amazing story with us today, and appreciate all your comments and Dondi and everything, and let me know how I can help. Love you all, and
Yes.
signing out for right now, and love you. Bye-bye.